Hello, welcome to the podcast. And once again, welcome to the second one of these that I've tried to record today because I fucked up the audio thing because it doesn't fucking work properly. And I now understand more and more why people have producers. How's your day going? Oh, gold it was, that stuff. Not really. I've been good. I've been away a lot. I was gigging this last while. I'm on the road with Neil Delamere a lot at the minute, and Chris Kent. Did gig with him in Birmingham, which was very cool. Always great to see them. And I was home. I was in Cork. I was in Dublin. I was fucking all over the place. All over that fucking place. And so I'm back for a couple of days now, which is nice. Jenna and I tonight are going to some sort of talk about the history of murders in London. And hopefully it's good. Or there'll be another fucking no. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Getting time together, that's nice. Anyway, what else? But because I've been traveling a fair bit, I've been flying a fair bit. I've been doing mainly good. Obviously, forgot my passport once. Don't worry about that. Couldn't get home. Doesn't matter. Gloss over that. Did Jenna say to me, "Have you got your passport?" Did I say yes 1,000 times? Absolutely. Got to the gate. No, but here's your driving license. We don't accept that because we're dickheads. And guess who that was? Anyway, but aside from that, I was flying back the other night there, and I seen the worst or best. I've seen the oddest thing I seen in an airport, which was I was sat waiting on the flight, and I'm just trying to think, was it the oddest? Yeah, the other thing I seen that's something that was quite almost as odd, but not really, which was Matt Berry, the actor who you might know from What We Do in the Shadows, or he plays Stephen Toast in Toast of London. He's the boss in the It Crowd after Chris Marsley. He's the guy with the voice like this. Yes, that guy we were in Dublin Airport, and he was on the flight back to London too. And when the gate number went up, and the gate number, like when that goes up, you're still not, the flight's an hour plus away. And Matt Berry, what he did was he went up to that gate, and where they have the little string that pulls across, like the little barrier, he stood with his chest to that. And he is short, so it was chest height. No. You know what? He is short. He was also wearing high-heeled boots. I remember thinking and being like, come on, man. What are you doing? Like, is that going to make a difference, really? You're wearing high-heeled boots and you're now 5'7". What difference has that made? Other than, because obviously wearing those like cowboy, what do you call it, like boot cut jeans as well. It was only when he was taking a step that you could really see the boot, so it was like, it looked like he was floating. Come on. Like, the effort and pain that it'll take to walk around just so that you're still short. And it doesn't matter, whatever. But he went there, right? And as soon as the gate number came up, he went there. He was on his own, and he stood just with his chest to it and stared straight ahead for the entire time before that gate was actually opened, which was an hour later. He just stood there, just staring ahead. Anyway, that was the second thing. The strangest thing was I seen the other day. So I was there. I'm eating a pizza and drinking a Club Rock shandy because in Ireland, that's what I do. I go home and I get that. Sometimes I have the odd Sidona. But I was packing on the calories anyway. And there's a siren going past. London has fallen. And there was a guy beside me doing, and I'm not exaggerating, a full body workout for about 20 minutes. Like, he went through everything. He's doing press ups, sit ups, deep lunges. Deeper lunges than is acceptable out and about in culture. Like, your lunge is too deep, bro. Any lunge in public is too deep. Even if you're in a worker class that's outside, you shouldn't be doing that. It's rude. But this, I couldn't believe it. Like, everyone's sort of looking around like, is this happening? Is this real? And it was one of them things where it's like, you know everything about that guy. Because he's not a professional athlete, because he wouldn't be on the same flight as me if he was stinking up gate 108 in Dublin Airport, Terminal 1, doing jumping jacks. What are you doing? Like, you know that he has got an Instagram business where he sells bullshit once a month to clients, follow me, get into the grind set, leave everyone behind. Bro, you're doing jumping jacks in Dublin Airport. Why? What has brought you to that? What has gone wrong in your life that your dad is never going to love you? It doesn't matter how many press ups you can do. We're all getting on the same flight to Luton. Unless he was warming up in case Tommy Robinson was waiting on him at the other side. But I think the link between those fitness fanatics at home and Tommy Robinson tends to be quite a positive one at the minute. I see he was in trouble as well. He's in court at the minute because he was arrested trying to drive through the channel in a car that didn't belong to him, and he had 13 grand cash in his pocket and wouldn't give the police his PIN number for his phone because he said what was it he said? He had journalistic integrity that he needed to protect. Fucking integrity, that guy. Anyway, gross. But the guy working out, it's annoying me a little bit because I was also like, he was in good shape, and I am in terrible shape at the minute. I've played 2 games of football this week, Sunday and Tuesday, and I feel like I felt when I was training full time. When people were literally beating me up every day, I feel the same now. And I had like a 5-a-side with some old people last night. I'm dying. Oh my God. I've got to start again. I think I have half an idea, which is I might do a training camp, like a 3-month camp, as if I was training for a fight, obviously with no fight and no sparring or anything. That's crazy. But like, I think I'm going to join an MMA gym here because they've got cheap. It's the only thing I think in London it's got cheaper. When I moved here, the reason I stopped was because it was like literally 180 quid a month. But now there's a good few that are around me that aren't that at all. And it's funny, I messaged Elliot Steele, a comedian who trains, and Elliot Steele would be a good friend, and I messaged him and was like, there's these 2 clubs equidistant to me. Do you have any information on them? And he was like, this top one, he was like, man, that's sort of culty. And he was like, I trained in there and it was a bit weird. And that's 100% the one for me. I'm going to be in Bethnal Green shin kicking trees until my legs break. And that feels like that's the only chance I'll have of, not feeling bad in the reverse every day after football. It's funny, the martial arts has been in my head a lot because of the Smashing Machine movie, which you may have seen. It stars The Rock, and there's all Oscar buzz about The Rock. They're like, this is The Rock as you've never seen him before because he plays a fucking roided up monster. But it's based on a documentary from like 2002 called The Smashing Machine, which I loved, and that was like prime aimed. You could not aim something more at me, especially at that time, as the Smashing Machine movie. So it followed. The documentary was about Mark Kerr, who was an MMA fighter back in the dark ages when, like, before, UFC's sort of like fairly rule heavy now, but this is one of the scenes in it. He's fighting in Brazil in a Vale Tudo, between sort of anything goes competition. And Mark Kerr, the reason he's kind of interesting, there's a few reasons, but one of them is that he's really softly spoken. So he's this huge guy, but he kind of talks like that. He's like almost a little camp. And there's this scene of him just because blood everywhere. And he was like, I opened up a little cut on his forehead and then I pulled my fingers in. And it's showing you this as he's talking of him like putting his hands to the cut and like forcing the cut open because I want to get more blood out. I want to get more blood. And he starts headbutting the guy. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. He's on roids, of course, the whole way through. And it shows you him doing steroids, like injecting steroids and painkillers. He was addicted to painkillers. He ends up overdosing. And all of this stuff is like the sort of the basis of the movie. And the movie, like, they all take slight liberty, but it's like pretty accurate, you know. It also stars, so Emily Blunt is his like Mrs. Dawn, who's like the classic hot fighters woman, you know, and his friends all hate her because he loses focus around her and she's got giant tits, and that's terrible for morale or something. I've never quite worked that one out. But I was like, here we go, you know, and also his mates are MMA fighter called Ryan Bader plays Mark Coleman, and I thought that's kind of weird because they, like, Ryan Bader would be like almost a peer of Mark Coleman. Like, he's a bit younger, but they were like, I saw Ryan Bader fight, and Mark Coleman was coaching that event, you know. Anyway, and he's sort of very good in a role that requires not much, but is good in it. And then Bas Rutten plays himself, and Bas Rutten, if you don't know, is a former UFC champion as well, again back in the old days. But he's kind of famous because he does a bit of acting, but also he went viral a few years ago for these funny self-defense videos that he did of like, this is what happens when you get attacked in a bar. You know, he's from Netherlands, and he says things like, I don't believe in an eye for an eye. I believe in two eyes for an eye. And class, really funny guy. And he's very good in it. Again, playing himself, which I think is not as easy probably as it could be. I know that I've done auditions that were pretty much me and didn't get it. So that's good. And The Rock, the whole thing is like, and again, like, this film could not be aimed more squarely at me. You know, it's about people, you know, about fighting, about that life, you know, about, you know, the training, about it not going well and everything, like, you know, like Rocky. And I have rarely been as bored in a movie. How that film is getting the Oscar buzz, I've no fucking idea. It's mad. It's like watching a boring play, you know. And the music's weird, you know, like, they have the fight scenes, they have them fighting in Pride, and the way they do it, the soundtrack is like a jazz, it's like a jazzy over the top of the fight, to where every time someone gets punched, there's a big like chow, like there's beats. It's so weird, like, you know. So there's like, if there's a combo, 1 2 1 2 3 4, it's like oh my god. And I think they're trying to do the like Muay Thai fighting, which, if you've ever seen like pure old school Muay Thai kickboxing, what happens is, so if you do 3 rounds, the fight will be 3 rounds. There's a drummer in the corner, like sort of outside the ring, but in the corner, and that drummer is almost like he is at the pace of the fight. So he's like, if he's like doing like kind of a slow speed, the fight's usually just starting and people are feeling each other out, and then as it gets more intense and quicker, his drum will speed up with that. And it, like, that's really cool, especially if you're there. We went on our honeymoon, we went to Thailand for our honeymoon, and Jenna and I went. It was so funny because Jenna was like, I don't want to watch these fights, like, you know, I don't want to see violence, and she's a pacifist and all. And then fucking an hour into a few fights, she was like, get it bleed more. It was so funny. It was a few years ago, and there was a fight, and they do like underage fights and all, and they had this kid who was a Russian, and it was just after Russia invaded the Ukraine, and this Russian kid, and he must have been about 13 odd, and he came out first, right? And he's there, and like his dad's there, and everyone's like clapping, applauding for the little kid that comes out. But he was Russian, and the guy he was fighting was a Thai guy who like was the same age, but if you're a Thai, native Thai boxer there. He's probably had 400 fights. Like, he looked like he was carved from oak. And he came out and he kicked the shit out of that Russian guy. He beat the shit out of him, and everyone was going mad cheering because they were like, "Yeah, fuck Russia at the minute." Anyway, my point being, I think that's what they were trying to do with the music of this, is like keep the tempo of the fight. And I was, oh my god, it was killing me how boring it was. And I always with this stuff, they're always like, The Rock's never been better, and you're like, he just has got a big brow, and he's doing that voice. Oh, hey, no, we don't hate each other. They make sure they put a scene in where he's in like a doctor's waiting room, and an old woman is like, "Oh, isn't that like human cockfighting? Don't you hate each other?" No, and we really like each other actually, and it's just a sport. And then he like signs an autograph for a kid. Don't be fighting, no fighting. And then he rips a door off its hinges. But somehow even that is boring. Anyway, I'm sure he'd win an Oscar. Because he's paid $100 million to do it. But whatever. Did that, and I would have left. It was when I literally would have left, except my hotel, I couldn't check in before 3:00, and I was like, I might as well stay. That's the classic comedian in a town for the afternoon, is you'll find us in cinemas usually, because you can fall asleep or just pass the time, kill the time. I did pass time, couldn't fall asleep, and then turned out had booked the hotel for February instead of that night. So I ended up having to get another one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had fun. Went home. I did a run which was like, so I did Birmingham with Chris Kent, London, then Cork, Dunleary, and then London again. But after Dunleary, I could get home, so I went home. Had the crack at home. Stayed up with my dad chatting till 3 a.m, which is good crack. And then died the next day trying to get the flight. But anyway, whatever, you don't care about that. That's where I seen the guy working out. Getting after it, bro, in the airport. What are you doing? Conor McGregor style. Fucking idiot. What else? Oh, I seen then, it was funny here on Sunday, was the NFL was in town. They were in town, the NFL was here, and all the fans came out. And English people should not wear NFL gear. That's what I looked when I was looking around. It was so like NFL. It's just American. Like, let it be American. You know, they're all 6'8" and 400 pounds or whatever, and they fill out those jerseys. I was walking around on Sunday, and the amount of like, lads in their 40s who are definitely accountants wearing oversized NFL jerseys. They look like they were wearing their dad. They look like children wearing their dad's shirt. It was so stupid looking. And the game is stupid. And don't tell me it's not. It's so boring. So boring. Oh my god. Yeah, but they hit each other. I don't get it. You have to be suspect of anyone who is into NFL, I think. That's not American. If you're into NFL and you're not American, you could be a spy. Baseball, even worse. Even worse. They take hours. Hours. Well, fucking, who am I to talk? I watch football, like, although less so at the minute because it's the international break in Ireland or shite. Yeah, and the schools are open up, so Enoch Burke is back haunting his school. If you don't know, Enoch Burke was a teacher in Ireland. He's kind of famous on social media now as well, and he's getting more so because, like, today I just saw Joey Barton tweeting praise, and that is, if you have Joey Barton in your corner, you'd probably need to really think about where you're at. Like, that guy is what a piece of shit. Enoch Burke was a teacher who refused to not dead name a pupil who was trans, and it was within the law. Like, his school had said bounds around it, and he wouldn't do it, so they And then he was weird in there, like in the disciplinary, and so he was suspended, and he didn't accept the suspension. He just kept turning up to work, and they ended up having to get him arrested, and because he was like hassling children at the school, and he was in prison for a while, and then he got out and he's back. Just fundamentalist fucking cuckoo, like absolutely cuckoo. And but it's worth looking him up just at the minute to be like, wow, he racked up tens of thousands of euros in fines because he just kept breaking his bail conditions. But he's out there again. He's out there again. Just in front of school gates thinking that's not weird at all. At all. What a fucking numpty. I don't get these. Man, these guys are fundamentalists about anything. I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do have. I probably can be like that. When like politics or something comes up and there's something I feel particularly agreed. Probably if you got me talking about Gaza or whatever. Like, I know I've definitely annoyed people here who are, like pro-Israel, don't think there's genocide, and I can get very fucking obstreperous with that. But in general, I just try and keep it. It's funny, I was in a green room recently, and this is so far down the road of where I should have done this for a long time ago. But I was gigging with this guy who is a brilliant comedian. Brilliant. Like, would have been like one of the UK's best for sure, circuit stalwart, been on TV loads and all. And during lockdown, apparently got a bit weird, a bit vaccine weird, lockdown skeptic, all that stuff. And I just, like, I've said it on here before, I kind of think, like, look, if you, like, I forgive a lot for what people did during lockdown. I forgive a lot because we were all fucking mad. Like, and even the people who started with the, like, the anti-vax, all that stuff. I'm like, I get, like, if you're still on that, you can fuck off. But, like, in that period, I think we all have to allow ourselves that we all probably went a bit mad in some way or the other. I'm trying to think what I just fucking, I mean, I just kind of, I feel like I wasted it. Loads of people did stuff. We just fucking chilled and had the time off, which was class, actually, because Jenna and I actually had a great lockdown, and well, but other people did. Anyway, whatever. This guy's one of them, and I had heard he could, he could go on about this stuff a little bit, and I just copped this thing, which was, so we were at this gig together, and we had seen each other like recently a couple of times, and this time he felt more comfortable talking about politics. And they dipped the toe. First of all, he was like, I lost a lot of friends during lockdown, and I was like, oh yeah, a lot of people reacted different. Just what I was saying, I was like, yeah, people went a bit crazy in lockdown, but I think that's fine. And then he started talking about America and Trump and all, and I just turned around, I was like, here, and it just came to me like this, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do from now on. I was like, oh hey, just so you know, in green rooms I just don't engage in politics really, like, because it just takes me out of the form for the gig, and like, I am left wing. I don't care if you're a right wing. We're working here tonight, and there's no sense, in that. And I was like, this is perfect for English people. I'm like, I grew up somewhere where people got killed for their politics, and so I just don't want to engage in that. And it just shut it down straight away. And then we're talking about comedy again, and it was fucking great. It was great. And like, literally a few days later, one of the lads messaged me. He was gigging with a guy who is a maniac, to be fair. And he was like, I just don't know what to do. And I was like, say this. Like, say you come from a place where people get murdered for their politics and you don't engage. And this guy will say, people are getting murdered for their politics now. And you will say, I don't engage. What about this gig? Anyway, just get out of there. Because it's pointless. You're not going to change anyone's mind in 10 minutes in a green room. Do you know what I mean? Like if it was in a different, if you're there all day, it would be different. You could get into it. But it's like I'm about to do a fucking set, you know? I'm about to try and be funny here. But instead, I'm going to get wound up because I think you're a fucking idiot and you think I'm an idiot. So what are we doing? Let's just do our jokes. Although I had a great gig on Saturday night. I was doing 3 gigs at Angel to Bill Murray, and it was just like the booking policy of whoever did it smashed it because it was the green room was me, Kyla Cobbler, who is, if you've not seen her, she's a fucking social media mega star, huge. She's from Cork, brilliant. Neil O'Rourke, also from Cork, another great comedian. So the 3 of us, then Mike Rice came down just for the crack, and then there was Josh Weller, who's a really sound, very nice English guy, Gabriel Bulu as well, and I felt sorry for the 2 boys. Because that green room got so Irish so fast. And I don't even mean like, not in terms of politics, but just like how we speak to each other. At one point I turned around and the 2 lads were just fucking, they looked like they were in a wind tunnel. Just like their whole face was getting pulled back. Oh, it was great. A nightmare. But it was on that long. Josh Weller had been in the room from 4 o'clock and he was closing a show that wouldn't have finished until 12 o'clock that night. It was like a Beckett play. Like it was like we were all in there, and then every now and again there'd be a knock at the door. You would have to go down, do a gig, and in the room you could kind of hear the murmuring of laughter or whatever, and then you'd come back and it would be a totally different chat happening. And you go through and in that case, there's no escape from. You'll talk about everything. In that amount of time, politics will come up. The comedians you love will come up. The comedians you hate will come up. The comedians who are good but you hate them but they still make you laugh can't. They'll come up. Oh, it was so much fun. You know, I've done this room, that room. Kyla's fucking all over the place. She's buzzing. My sister's such a big fan too. I got her to ring, and Roshi, my sister, fucking didn't see the phone, missed it. Kyla did a very nice video message. It was so fun. Mike was ill, chatting up. Anyway, so much crack. But yeah, like that's too long to be in the room. Too long to be in the room. And on that, this is almost too long to be in this podcast. 27 minutes feels good. Lads, give us a shout. As always, I'm on the road at this tomorrow night. I'm in Kings Lynn. I'm in Wexford with Neil Delamere next week. I'm all over the place. Leeds, Cardiff, Barnard Castle. I'm knocking about, so give us a shout. Come down to the gigs if you can. I think there's tickets available. I think a lot of them are sold out, but anyway, not. Follow me, share the podcast, shout with crack. Thanks from the fucking blue lights, lads. I'm gonna be in blue lights, I'm fucking telling you. Go and see Frank Blake, who's in a play in Dublin at the minute. I think it's still on for the next while and is getting rave reviews, and I'm raging that I can't go. Niall McNamee's album came out last week. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, and he's fucking smashing it. Niall was on the show, and like he had 80,000 downloads in his first day. That's huge. Unreal. Like for like an Irish sort of a trad album almost. It's so good. So listen to that. It's on Spotify. You can get it there. Niall's on tour as well soon. And otherwise, give us a shout. If you do stuff and you're listening, shout, and I'll always promote it. Anyway, thank you very much. John M. Comedy. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.